Hey y'all, I just finished watering and also uppotting some things. And it's after 8 o'clock, so I don't have time to do much else, even though I really need to fertilize for this week. But I'm going to just wait and do it tomorrow sometime. Anyway, I have time to do a quick tour because I'm not sure when I last did it, but I think it's been a while since I last updated and I'm making some changes. So I'll go ahead and show like get something in here right now. All right, so this is where I usually start the garden at the front, near the front of the yard. And these are my volunteer sunflowers, and a lot of them are spent. And I may cut those heads off and see if they grow new heads, or if not, I will start trimming these down. But these over here still look really good. Anyway, let's just go look in these containers that I originally were going to get rid of, but I'm so grateful that I decided to keep them since it gives me extra grow space. So I have two Jamaican sorrels in there, or I forgot what the other name for it is. I forgot. Anyway, Jamaican sorrel, and that is lemon balm in there, and weeds. And it's not very much soil in there. I didn't intend to keep the stuff in here, but anyway, it's in there now and it's growing. So I may move it or I may just leave it there. That is basil going to seed, and some new seeded, I think self-seeded basil behind it, and then some parsley in the back. Another Jamaican sorrel. These Jamaican sorrels were volunteers in my front yard. I had one that I planted, or yeah, I had one or two, I forgot, that I think it was two that I planted in the front yard, and they got enormous, like the one back here. So I did not want them in my front yard anymore. But I don't mind. I want to put them in containers. I think that'll kind of restrict the size, hopefully, so they won't just take over a whole area. Anyway, that is oregano and some chives, I think, that I need to cut so that they can grow. Anyway, I also have my purple basil in there that has been looking pathetic for quite a while and going to seed. And I'm going to be dropping more seeds, herbs, and a lot of things this weekend. I have a 3-day weekend, and I didn't even realize I forgot I had requested Monday off and got my little reminder yesterday. I was like, yes. Anyway, there is another Jamaican sorrel that survived. Now I pulled these out the front. I didn't know if any of them would survive. So far, they all have. All right, this is like my little anything, everything bed, including a store bought bell pepper that I kind of forgot about. It was in the nursery cup for a little while, dried out, and I set it in. I put it in here just to put it somewhere, and it had survived, but it was overcrowded by the volunteer tomatoes I had in here, but they weren't producing anything, and they were looking sickly and everything. So I went ahead and took those out. These are store bought, I think, zinnias, and that is one of my collard greens that I planted, and I've been taking leaves off that as like a fertilizer, like burying it in beds. And that right there is a grasshopper, I believe. Maybe it isn't. Okay, it isn't. All right, yes, it is. It's a grasshopper. And my little opossum buddy, which I've come to love, he comes in my yard, or she, whatever it is, almost every day and just eats up bugs, including grasshoppers. So I love that little thing now. Not enough. I don't want it to live in my yard. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I like the opossum. Anyway, there are more zinnias. These were volunteers, as well as the sunflowers. All of the sunflowers were volunteers. And here's my pepper bed. I've used this as a pepper bed, I think, for 3 years now. And I had a basil there that I had went to seed. I went ahead and took that out because I wasn't trying to save those seeds. I have plenty of seeds. But my peppers are doing really well. I've been producing really well. And I'll be harvesting some of these for my dinner tonight. Most likely, if I can find a big one. There's a red one. I'll make sure I get that one. And These are, I believe, cayennes. They're orange. And there are a lot of them. Kind of hard to keep up with all those. Somebody need to come get some. And another bell pepper. Over here in the corner, I have the fig, store-bought fig that I got a few months ago, and it's maybe even 3 times the size it was. I mean, at least twice, but it was in a little container, so I think it's 3 times the size it was. And it has new growth. And my lavender is a goner, I think. I'm not sure if that will come back. I doubt it. I took the Perslan out because it was looking pathetic anyway, and I felt like it was sapping resources potentially from the fig. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I'll just cut these leaves off. Just a few of them affected so far. Then the tomatoes I have on this ledge have gotten much bigger. I tried to stake them all with just a tomato stake, and this one split. So I'm gonna have to, be careful and try to reattach it. But yeah, I should have used a tomato cage for these. I didn't plan to leave them in here for so long, but this is gonna be their home. And no fruit yet, but I got flowers. I'm not sure if this broken one has flowers. I mean, it's probably stressed out all it's been through. But yeah, anyway. And these 4 tomato plants, 2 of them are Paul Robinsons and the other 2 are Cherokee Purple. I don't know which is which. I'm thinking the Paul Robinsons are in the blue containers. Those are 5-gallon containers. These are only 4. So yeah, they're very tiny containers, but they're growing. Here are the goji berries. And they're already, I'm just gotta be careful touching this because it got thorns on it. But there are goji berries on here. Even this one has some, so both of them survived and both of them are already fruiting. Very resilient plants. And here's a tomato, a small tomato. Now, this is volunteer sunflowers. I think it's 3 different plants. Well, there's the one that is, I need to go ahead and cut that one out. But these 2 are still looking good. So yeah, I saw that the other day. I should have cut that out already. But they're volunteers, and I need to get these out anyway because I noticed when I was picking out grass, which I'm constantly picking grass out the rocks and weeds out the rocks, I noticed that there is a lot of weeds over here. All of that is weeds, and even in that bed that I need to remove still is weeds, and it's just hard to get over here into the space. So I have to get rid of this, and then I can go ahead and move the beds and get control of these weeds and actually have some grow space because I have 2 by 12 beds, and they're put together now. They're just not in place, and so I'm ready to get them down and get them in the ground and get some plants in them. I also think it's about time to remove most, if not all, of the cucumbers. These are all volunteer cucumbers over here. There are also beans over here. This one, I think, I don't know, got maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's dead or not. It's looking dead. But there are several bean plants. Like here's one. Oh, whoa, I had not seen this. Oh my goodness. This is my first bean, y'all. My first bean ever. Look at how did I miss this? It is enormous. It did rain. I'm sorry, my allergies are really bad. It's messed up my hearing and everything. But anyway, this is huge. Look at that. Like this is probably longer than my arm. Well, maybe not that long, but it's definitely long. This is my first bean. I'm gonna pick that today. Oh, I see another one from here. So I gotta be careful when I'm pulling out these cucumbers because I think I'm gonna go ahead because they're not looking good. Let's see. I mean, they produced a lot, but they're not looking good. Like this is what I'm getting a lot of the time. Already looking like it's, you know, spoiled as it comes in. And the leaves are very light. I've been fertilizing every week. I haven't fertilized this week, but it requires fertilizing every week. But anyway, the beans are running all up, and here is a smaller one. So I guess what it is, they start thin, or I mean, they grow. I just didn't notice. Oh, what the heck? I think that's a swash bug. I'm hoping that opossum eats the swash bugs. I'm like, come into my yard, please, and eat these bugs. Anyway, so I got at least 2 beans, I see, and I'm gonna harvest one and try it tonight. Anyway, there are probably more cucumbers in here. I don't see any right now. I was just trying to show how they all looking busted. Like, what is that? Maybe I don't know. Someone ate that. I'm not sure. Or like there go one down there. They just come in little in that bright green, not bright green, yellow. That bright yellow color that is the color of a ripened cucumber usually. Oh, there is a big one over here that I couldn't reach, and it actually looks okay. And then, but there's another one behind it, so I had to be on the other side to get that. And like I said, it's just hard to get over there. Moving on, I'm past 11 minutes. These tomatoes, are all, it's 2 different types of cherry tomatoes. I have no idea which variety. They taste the same anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But it's massive, and there are, I don't know, disease or something on it, but it's still producing a lot. These tomatoes are good in salads, and they're cherry tomatoes, like the regular ones. I have a lot of green ones still, and a lot of flowers, so it's still producing. So I don't know if I should get rid of it because I don't have any other tomato producing. And I can, oh, here's another bad cucumber. What I was talking, how they come in. Well, there's a green one. But yeah, I mean, it's been really productive, but most of them are coming in not good. So I think I will try to pull out the cucumbers tomorrow, and I'm just gonna let it. I'm not gonna put anything in there because I want to replace these 2 beds. There's like 2 beds here. They're 6 foot by 1.5 foot. I want to replace them with one long 12 by 2 foot. And I want to put one on here, and the other one against the fence, so they'll run parallel to each other, like railroad tracks. And they're slim, so I'll have a wide space in the middle, and it'll be easy for me to get around. That's the main thing I'm focused on now. I don't like having to duck and squeeze through and risk brushing, you know, and bugs and stuff getting on me and getting in my hair, getting all over me. Anyway, so the tomatoes. I'm not getting rid of them yet because they're my only tomatoes right now. But I am gonna pull out the cucumbers most likely just because it's not producing. All right, my blueberries, I did open that gate yesterday, and Mr. Opossum went in last night. He immediately noticed, and I left a few for him. I'll insert a video of what I got yesterday. I'm about to do my likely last blueberry harvest. I'm gonna take down this barricade at some point this weekend. I don't know if I'll do it today. Probably too much hassle today since I come out so late in the evening to avoid the heat. Let's see. Gate is tricky. Oh, okay. I don't want to knock down the bowl. Also have a lot of weeds that have overgrown in here. I haven't been in this thing in at least a week, probably 2 weeks. And nothing else has been in here either. Well, nothing big. No opossums, no birds. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, lost one already. I might leave that for the opossum. I've actually started to like that little guy. He like vanished for a few days, and I was like, "Where's my possum?" Like that ain't my possum. But he does a good job, or he, she, whatever it is. Kind of hoping it's a boy, because if it's a girl, it'll have babies, and I don't know about having a bunch of them. But it eats bugs all night long, just all through the garden and through my grass too, through the lawn, just eating bugs. It's awesome. Like if I could pay you, I would, but not with my blueberries. But I will give it a few, like anything that's old like this. I don't think the possum will mind. I have some that I've totally gone. I am planning to get pretty much all of them, although all of them aren't ready still. But that's primarily because I want to get rid of the cover on it, and whatever's left they can have. They meaning the creatures. I'll go ahead and finish this and see how many I get. All right, so this is my harvest, and this is a 4 cup container, and it's not quite full, but this is a lot. I'm sure this is at least 2 cups. And I did still leave a few on here, and I dropped a few and left them for mainly for the opossum, because I meant to do this yesterday, but I didn't get around to it because started I emptied out this thing yesterday, and I did it. It didn't even take me that. I mean, maybe it took me an hour though. Anyway, I had to take this thing apart and was struggling taking it apart. But anyway, I'm gonna finish taking that apart, and I decided that I was gonna put them at the bottom of the fence. And oh, this is another new thing. I finally got those papers moved over into this corner, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna do a shed or a greenhouse or a chicken coop, or if I'm gonna buy it or if I'm gonna try and build it. Anyway, I got my space marked out. That was the main thing. It's not perfect, but it's over there finally. Anyway, no watermelon since I'm right here. So here are was the cucumbers and the tomatoes, and here's the watermelon and also some cucumbers in here. And that's another reason I don't mind getting rid of pulling out the cucumbers, because I have more cucumbers now. The watermelon, y'all. I put these up because it keeps coming out, and I have fruit all over this. Watermelon are all over. And yesterday I posted, I'm kind of nervous sticking my hand in here, but the opossum comes all through here. So I think if there was something in here, he would have ate it already. And there is one. And there are several more in here. So I have to keep an eye on these, because I'm going to be harvesting these so I can have me some fresh watermelon that won't be a ripoff. Anyway, I also have cucumbers in here. Next time I will not put multiple plants in here. It will only be watermelon, maybe 2 plants. And I'm going to use the round beds for watermelon from this year on, including that front bed with the peppers. It's for watermelon now, because this is just too awesome. I added these yesterday to try and give them something to climb on, but I haven't attempted to direct them up, up the cages yet. I hope they just find their way up. They're surely finding their way out. I just keep tucking them back in, because I can't let them grow on the ground. The grass gets too wild and too tall back here. And yeah, I don't want that. So anyway, I do have cucumbers too. I moved the eggplants yesterday out of here, and I did film that, but I didn't get around to editing that video. Here's a cucumber. Whoops. So this is bigger than I was expecting, actually. like they're supposed to be pickling cucumbers. Like, here's, and that's little, but a little bit bigger than this is what I want to harvest. So maybe I will harvest this one today and see how it tastes. Hopefully the skin is still tender and it's sweet. Here were the um the eggplants, and they are looking terrible. And I really don't even care. I'm gonna see if they live. I'm gonna keep watering them for a few days. I mean, this one has flowers, but yeah, I mean they're shocked from removing them, and then trying to get acclimated to the new spot. It means watering them very well for at least a week, and then just see if they survive. I also should probably move them to the shade. I didn't want to put them in my greenhouse because they have all these bug holes and stuff. I'm like, I'm not taking them in there with my protected plants. Anyway, these tomatoes over here are getting much larger and flowers on them. These are like to my shoulder about. This one, the top part, that's actually past my shoulder. So these are pretty tall in the bed. They're on they're elevated 1 foot. Accidentally broke this one. Um, Trying to stick it in back in the cage, but anyway, this one of the sunflowers I have over here and the other one's there. I do have them staked because they were like looking really pathetic. After I staked them, they did start going better. Also, it's fertilizing them the last few weeks, so I think that helped. My goal in the future is to plant sunflowers to serve as a canopy to kind of shade the plants during these hot months. Although it's not nearly as hot in Texas as it normally is. Normally we'd be in the triple digits, and I'm not even seeing that in the forecast. It's hot, but it's not scorching hot. Anyway, I moved my arch over here that I had over here. So I moved over here, and I could put a shade cloth up there to protect this at some point. But now I want to get this out of the way. But I got a gazillion zip ties on here, so it's gonna be a pain getting this removed. Anyway, my squash. It's my first squash that I planted, and I have a squash over there. I haven't been over there in 2 days though. Let me squeeze over here, see what it's looking like. It was like microscopic the other day though. And it's still pretty microscopic, but there are two of them. I think these are called patty pan. I don't know what they taste like. I just think they're adorable, so I wanted to grow them. And uh-oh, shoot, just knocked off the male flower. Oh wait, I have multiple fruit. Let me make sure y'all can see this. I have at least 4 fruit on here. So there are 2 there and 2 there. I don't know if there are any more. But wow, 1 plant. And it's not looking, I mean, I may be watering too much. Yeah, I'm trying to water every day because they're in these grow bags. I was reluctant to grow in grow bags because they dry out and with the heat, but I do have mulch in here. Maybe that's helping. But so far they're doing okay. The lead on this one is blocking out these peppers, but after I move this, I can spread things out better. And then 2 peppers in there and a zinnia. And that was a zinnia that I actually planted. I also have some tomatoes here, and I need to get them. I'll probably put them in grow bags. These are the bags I filled up from the soil that I took out of here. I filled up, I think three and a half bags. Yeah, 3.5 bags I filled up from there to move that. I just have to finish disassembling the raised bed that I had. It was a 2 foot tall raised bed. Anyway, that's all the stuff over here. Oh wait, I did a pot peppers. These are both shishitu peppers, and then these are the um tomatoes the same as those two over there. They're called jelly bean tomatoes. They're a really tiny, really sweet tomato. Anyway, now over here, I just have that one bed along this fence, and I think that's plenty. And especially the way the sun moves in here. I mean, I could put it in other places and grow things, but this is enough for now. I need some clear space. But I have 3 peppers in here, and I think 2 tomatoes. The peppers are producing, but I haven't seen any tomatoes yet. But yeah, I'll have to be cleaning up all this over the weekend. But yeah, it's looking good over there. And then I just up potted this pepper and that tomato. And then here I have the blueberries. Those 2 look fine, and this one still doesn't have any leaves. If it doesn't come back, I'll just replace it next year. I'll just wait out the rest of this year, see if it lives or not. We'll see. All right, just backing up for a view of my greenhouse. I love this greenhouse. Anyway, this red container is a pepper I just potted, already flowering, already have fruit. So hopefully it'll be even doing better since I potted it. 2 more peppers I potted. They were in the greenhouse. These have been here. These 2 peppers and this tomato. Then in here, I have cayenne, purple cayenne. You can't see them really well, but these are pointed upright, so I'm assuming they're not ready until they drop. And then 2 pepper plants down here, and more pepper plants, and 1 tomato plant under here that I'll move out eventually. But they're doing so well in there, not being ate up by anything. I'm not in a rush. And they get sunlight all day. And I love this door. Now, I do have a shade cloth on the greenhouse. I think it's 70%, but that hasn't affected the growth. So that just means it doesn't get hot in this greenhouse, even though it's in the sun all day. But I also don't shut it. I keep the windows open, which have that mesh on them, and then the screen door that I added, which closes like I hoped it would very easily. All right, anyway, this plant, I forgot the name of it, but that red container over there is what it came in. I got this for hummingbirds. I don't know if they come or not. I have another pepper plant there, another one there, and a tomato there. And my strawberries, this is what I was meaning to do today also. I'll just have to wait to do it. And I do have flowers on these again. And these are the ones I planted by seed. These are the store-bought ones, I think from Kroger. And then I'm sure these are weeds. I was looking to see if these were strawberries, but I'm thinking these, I'm not sure. Because whenever I have a crusty strawberry, I stick it in the dirt so that the seeds can sprout. I'm not sure if these are a weed or strawberries. But anyway, I want to put more soil in here because it's low. And when I put these in here, I just dump them in here. I'm just grateful they survived and they're thriving and flowering again. That is my self-pollinating blueberry over here all by itself, but it's self-pollinating, so it should be fine. But I would kind of like to have the blueberries together, especially since I know the animals will be after them, assuming they start fruiting next year. Hopefully, this is my 2nd year having these. When I got it last year, it was smaller and hasn't grown much. All right, I have my stevia out here. I'm gonna move it into something else. And I also have my lavender. This is the only lavender I have. So I'm going to drop some more seeds. It's parsley, thyme. I had a squash here. It died. I'm not sure why. but I don't have holes in these containers. And it did rain a lot, so maybe it drowned. So root rot, but the pepper didn't. And then these didn't. Then I have two tomatoes in there. I'm gonna add more soil in here for these tomatoes. It's a 15-gallon grow bag. And then over here, I have the rest of the Jamaican sorrel that I moved from my front yard to volunteers. There are probably 4 or 5 of them in here, and as you can see, they all survived. And most spectacularly, I moved some of my volunteers sunflowers over here, and they are huge. Look at that. That thing is at least 15 feet. I mean, I don't know. It's at least 12 feet because that's the fence line, and you just keep going. So it's all, and the fence is 6 feet. So yeah, but hopefully these will fruit. I mean, they're being stunted because they're all kind of in the same space, and there are a lot of them. So I'm hoping they don't get like fill up this entire space. I'm still working on my rocks. I have them covered with the cardboard to suppress the grass because this is what it would look like all over. And I am going to eventually redo the grass. Probably going to get my nephews to do it. It's just easier. They want, anyway, easy money for them. This is my original bed that I put down. And I kind of wanted to keep it because my dogs used to get in here. And I'm not a sentimental person, but I don't know. I was thinking to keep it and make it a memorial to them. I've kind of made that and a friend of mine sent me a stone with their names on it, so I want to add it into wherever I have it. But I guess I'm going to put it in here since this is where it's going to be. Since I'm getting rid of this, I'm just going to have like some pavers. I think I'll add pavers and more rocks and more weed barrier first, more cardboard, more weed barrier, suppress this grass, and just have the rocks and the pavers all over this area, just an open area. And that is the plan. No rush in doing it. As you see, my light has come on, or my lights are coming on, so it's getting dark. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all.